What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of 30NSG. On today's show, we're going to be talking about more Xbox games reportedly going multi-platform. We're going to be talking about rumored a Marvel first-person shooter could be in development. And we're also going to be talking about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League approaches its do-or-die moment with the patch that comes out today and with the Season 1 starting on Thursday. This is what we're talking about on today's show. If you like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday. We talk about different gaming conversations from 10 o'clock in the morning to about noon Eastern. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you'd like to go above and beyond that. Become a member as little as $5. What's going on, Eclipse? What's going on, Travis? What's going on, Dolphin? What's going on, Jones? Good morning, good morning. So, Suicide Squad, we're not going to talk about it first, but this patch, we leading up to this, we've been talking about how Suicide Squad, this first season, could make or break. Not that the game is dead done, just for the persona of the public, right? Like, if this doesn't work, it's just going to be like, okay, well, there goes that season. Sort of like what's happening to Diablo, right? But the difference between Diablo and Suicide Squad is there's millions of people that were playing Diablo. There's not millions of people playing Suicide Squad. So it would just go off to the wayside and be like, oh, well, I'm doing something else. And when they have an update, it'll come out and we'll talk about it when it comes out. So that's what's going on with Suicide Squad. Rose says, good morning, everyone. Might look good or sound good on paper, but it also actually fixes the problems or makes stuff worse. Right. If Joker comes out and he's gay, the game is dead. But this is what I'm saying, Rose, right? Like, the persona of the public, right? Regardless if the game is actual dead, right? They made your money, right? This is one thing I want to make clear to everybody, okay? Doesn't matter if it's Dragon's Dogma 2 with the microtransaction debacle. It doesn't matter if it's Cyberpunk or Battlefield or Battlefront or insert game here. When they sell that game up front, they've made their money. And what they do after the fact doesn't really matter at that point. Yes, if it's a live service game, they want to make more money. But once they got your money off that first initial buy, they're okay. Okay? They're okay. Travis doesn't like Joker, Rose. Travis doesn't like Joker. Fifth Horseman says, must have been something in the series of Arkham games. Right? All right, so let's start off. Let's start off with the Xbox talk here. Let me hear. Hold on a second. I want the music lightly playing in the background. Actually, no, I don't. All right, so more Xbox games are reportedly going multi-platform. A new report suggests that many of the Xbox games are planned to go multi-platform as third-party publishers are losing faith in Microsoft hardware. Okay, so many more Xbox games are planned to go multi-platform, according to a new report that emerged from the Game Developers Conference GDC 2024. Now, Microsoft's ongoing multi-platform push is understood is conceding with some third-party publishers losing faith in the Xbox ecosystem. Following weeks of worth of rumors that stirred up quite a lot of drama amongst its fans, Microsoft confirmed that it's bringing 4 Xbox games to other platforms in mid-February. Those titles were promptly revealed as Sea of Thieves, Grounded, Pentiment, and Hi-Fi Rush. The latter duo already had the multi-platform debuts, while former pairs are scheduled to reach the select Xbox rival platforms in April. Some industry watchers also count as the Dusk Falls in the waves of the release because while it wasn't developed by Microsoft's subsidiary, it was published by Xbox Game Studio in 2022 before making its way to PlayStation console in March of 2024. Now, the majority of the Xbox games are reportedly coming to PlayStation 5. Now, those titles won't be at the end of Microsoft's planned strength in competitors' content catalogs, according to Christopher Drigg of GameIndustries.biz via VGC. During the latest episode of the GI Microcast podcast, During said that he understands that the majority of the modern Xbox games will come to PlayStation 5 at some point. The company is committed to more platform inclusive publishing arrived time when the ecosystem is failing behind its rivals. Dring said Microsoft appears to particularly struggling on the old content, having characterized Xbox sales as flattening in Europe, citing 2 publishers who chimed in on the matter during GDC 2024. Now, some third parties are now understood to becoming disillusioned with the entirety of the Xbox ecosystem as a result of the ongoing struggles to grow its install base. Looking to illustrate the point that Drigg recalled the GDC conversation with a major company who released a big game in Xbox in 2023, stating that a representative bluntly said, "I don't even know why we bothered supporting it," in reference to Microsoft's console. In a rare official update offered during the Best International Games Festival in June of 2023, Microsoft revealed that both the PlayStation 5 and the Switch have been outselling the Xbox Series X/S 2-1. Okay? So, it also says, while in early February, reports that many Xbox games going multi-platform only turned out to particularly or partially true, Microsoft's gaming CEO Phil Spencer already hinted that more are on the way during the subsequent episode of the official Xbox podcast. The executive noted that platform exclusives are gradually eroding, pointing to the fact that many of today's most successful games like Fortnite are available essentially every device that can run them. Now, both that statement and the context in which it was made alluded to Microsoft planning to go along with the trend instead of fighting it, especially from the position that it is in. The conglomerate has long stopped mincing words, and the current situation have flatlined, proclaimed that Xbox lost the console wars during the 2023 illegal battle in FTC over the fate of the concluded Activision Blizzard acquisition. So here's my question to you, right? If you're watching this live or in the comment section down below after the fact, right? Epic, the reason it's successful, right? I know Epic doesn't make any hardware, right? They just make the game, and it's on all platforms. And all those platforms, I'm sure, one platform sells more than the other, okay? Now, obviously, that peak point, let's say on PlayStation, let's just say 25 million people play it there. Let's say on Nintendo Switch, 20 million play there. But on Xbox, only 10 million play there. In the sight of the developer that said, well, I don't even know why we made it for the other platform, because obviously and again, I'm just generalizing just in general. I don't know the actual sales of Fortnite across the board, where they make their most money, right? It's a free game across the platform, but it's more popular on one platform in this example, okay? Would it be worth the developer saying, I don't even know why we make it for the other platform? It's the lowest number, but that's still more money that you're making, right? So in this scenario, I think it's kind of weird. Now let's go back to Microsoft. Because Microsoft is now going into the cloud, it's going to Game Pass, and they have less sales. They only have, I think, 25 million sales for Xbox Series S and X. Okay, a lot of people have been playing the games on PC. We know that it's 40%? I think it's 40%, or is it 60%? I forget what it was. Most people play Game Pass on PC. So a developer saying, I don't even know why we make the game for Microsoft, because it doesn't really sell that well, but it still made sales. Now, maybe, it all depends on what developer it is. We don't know that developer, okay? That maybe the cost that went into making that port for Xbox just cost way too much money, and they didn't make the money back, perhaps, okay? But you would want your game on as many platforms as possible, right? If it's a third-party game, and you don't know why you're making your game for Xbox, that's more customers. Even though it's 25 million, let's say, for Xbox players out there that own an Xbox, that's still 25 million more people that are playing your game. Do you think that the percentage that you got from Xbox, even if it was a lower one, that if you got rid of Xbox completely, that the PlayStation version would have sold that percentage over there? I mean, it didn't, right? It didn't sell it for Nintendo. Your number is your number, right? So if there's 54 million PlayStation owners out there, but only 5% bought it on PlayStation, and 5% of 155 million of Switches have your game on Switch, and then only 5%. 5% is 5%, right? Maybe it's 3%, maybe it's 1%, but that's still money that's coming to your overall studio. Now, what does this mean for Xbox? We talked about this months ago, right? I don't think it's a big deal that Microsoft is taking certain games and bringing them over to the third-party consoles. It's just more money in their pockets, right? As gamers, we look at this and say, it's good for us because there's more games in more places. As a developer, you're like, well, why am I making the game for Xbox? Because they have the Series X, the S, whatever else is coming down the pipeline. We got to make it for the PC, for Windows. Why am I making it for this? Is it worth it? Because there's not a lot of people buying it. But overall, if you're a third-party publisher or third-party developer, you want your game in as many places as possible for the potential of making the most money. Now, from the developer, from the actual Microsoft point of view, they want their games in many places as possible, just like Epic. Yes, Microsoft makes the hardware. Epic doesn't make the hardware. But Epic wants their thing on as many platforms as possible. PlayStation is getting on board with that, right? They want their things in as many places as possible. If it's day and date or later on, just you're leaving money on the table. Companies don't want to leave money on the table. They want to make it as much money as possible in many places as possible. So when I hear a developer say, well, I don't even know why we're making it for this console. Well, obviously, you want to make as much money as possible. It might be a minuscule thing, but there's still an opportunity, okay, that people will play it. Then on top of that, if they did put it on Xbox, I wonder if this developer took money from Microsoft, okay, to put it on Game Pass. I wonder if this big company, this big developer, in the quote here, it says, you know, it says one of the third-party guys said, well, I don't even know why we made it for him, but it's a big gamer that came out in 2023. I wonder if Microsoft gave them money up front to put it on Game Pass. Is it a Game Pass game? I don't know. They don't say who it is, but I find it very interesting because from a gamer perspective, I don't care where the games fall, right? If I want to buy a game and it's exclusive for one console and I'm really interested in that game, I will purchase that game and that console. If it's a game that I'm not really interested in, I'll just wait for it to come on the other platform that I already own. And if it's in more places, for me as a customer, that's fantastic. As a developer making the game, not so fantastic because you have to put the time and effort into the game. But that goes back to what I always say, make a game, sell a game, okay? Not every game is going to be a hit. Not every book's going to be a bestseller. Not every movie's going to be a blockbuster hit, right? But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What does this mean for Xbox and for developers that are making games for Microsoft? Should they stop making games because they don't know where the industry is going? I mean, that would be kind of weird, wouldn't it? You're cutting off a certain segment that maybe the cost is not... I think they would be making money. Maybe they're not making all the money, but it'd be interesting to see that if they stop making games and they just go for PlayStation, would that be more cost-effective for them going, well, we got 5% on PlayStation right now buying it. Is that percentage going to go up? I don't know. 5% is 5%, 10% is 10%. Unless it's a blockbuster game that comes out or a sleeper hit like a Pal World, like a Helldivers. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. And if you like what I do here, please make sure you check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Give me Gears of War, Xbox. They're making another Bad Boys movie. Let's see if it's any good. Here's the thing, for changing subjects, you're talking about the movie. They're making a Beetlejuice movie, right? They're making a Happy Gilmore 2. They made that Ghostbusters film, right? They're making a lot of sequels for franchises that they should just stop. Make new stuff. Make new stuff. Because we all know the stuff that they're going to make is going to be pandering to something else. It's not going to be based off the original stuff. They're just using the IP to kind of get us in there so they can make money. That's it. Right? I don't care about a Bad Boys. Didn't see the last Bad Boys movie. I don't care about the next Bad Boy movies either. Travis says, I'm so tempted to get Grounded instead of Dragon's Dogma 2. Grounded's a good game. Grounded's a good game. Now, I'm playing Dragon Dogma 2 off stream. Okay? I'm about 4 hours in. I'm really liking it. I haven't had any issues or anything like that. In the cities, you kind of get the pop-ins of the characters and stuff like that. But other than that, everything's fine. Insert Shane McMahon. Here comes the money. Money. Yeah, right? Downloading Snow Day. Let's go. I'm going to be downloading it later this afternoon. We'll be playing that tonight. I thought companies were getting to make money. Originally, you wanted the best games on your console, so you bought their console. Today, they want money, period, on many screens as possible. Right. And that's why I don't understand where the quote... Let me see where the quote is here. He says... On the PlayStation 5, the company commitment to more platform-inclusive publishers arrive. Okay, it says Driggs also appears as particularly struggling on the old content. major company who released a big game on Xbox in 2023 stated its representative bluntly said, "I don't know why we bothered supporting it." That makes no sense to me, right? A company that would say that would be a company that's like, well, we don't really care about the money. I don't know why we supported that console, because there's 25 million people that own that console, right? There's 25 million people that own that console. Regardless of being the smaller portion, there's still 25 million people that own the console. Yes, it's half of what PlayStation has. But as a company, can you imagine going, well, I don't even know why we opened our doors. You know, it's a small percentage. It's still a percentage. It's still a percentage of people that bought your game. Now, if your game costs more money than you're making off the platform, cool. It makes sense. Juice might not be worth the squeeze. Sure. But there's also loss leaders in certain things where if you have a presence and you made a game, right, Jones? If the game is good and people bought your game, those people bought your game. You made a game, you sold a game, those people buy your game. It wasn't a hit. Regardless if it's a good game, bad game, you don't know. There's games that come out. Hell, I'll look at it. Final Fantasy 16 didn't sell well. Okay? It sold 3 million copies. Okay? Think about that. They go, well, it underperformed. What was the reason of making it? What was the reason? It wasn't... The juice wasn't worth the squeeze. We put all that money into Final Fantasy 16. It underperformed. Wasn't even worth making it for that platform. Now think about this. Now, if Final Fantasy 16 was on all other platforms, do you think that percentage would have been up? Now, more money would have been out, but more people could have played their game. Might have had a better outlook. Right? For every one way this way, there's another example for the other direction. Not enough profits for them. That's exactly right. Not enough profits for them. I'm sure there was profit. That's my point though. Right? Them saying, I don't even know why we made it for that platform. Well, I'm sure you made money. It just wasn't all the money that you wanted to make, right? I'm about 20 hours into Dragon Dogma 2, and it's so fun. Just unlocked the Magic Archer. I don't even know what that is, Rowick. I'm literally recording all of my gameplay for Dragon's Dogma, and once I'm like done or have enough footage, I'm gonna try to piece together something. It might not work, and you guys might not ever see my gameplay, but I'm gonna try to make sort of like a show type of thing. Well, they probably know that Xbox is going cloud, so if they put the Game Pass, and Xbox technically gets it. Who cares? He's a rapper. All rappers are criminals. They murder music. I have no idea what you're talking about there. Oh, Dolphin put something about P. Diddy. Great game, didn't sell, though. But that's my point. To say that a game that was exclusive on one platform and didn't sell well, and then a game that was on multiple platforms but didn't sell well on that platform, one of the platforms, and then to say, well, I don't even know why we made it. I don't even know why we made it for them. Like, what? I'm assuming because you wanted to make more money. That would be the reason. You're just mad because it didn't make money on that platform as much as you thought it was going to make. If it was day one PC alone with PlayStation 5, at least have double the sales. If it wasn't day one PC alone with PlayStation 5, it'd at least have double the sales. Oh, you're saying the Final Fantasy. If it was day one PC. Yeah. You're talking about the Final Fantasy. Gotcha, Kylo. '16 was not a good game. It was also then it was sold more in Japan. Japan loves Final Fantasy. But think about that what you just said there, Eclipse. Imagine being a developer going, well, I don't even know why we made it for the West. Just doesn't sell well in the West, right? Well, you made it for the West because it potentially had more sales, right? You could potentially have more sales for that game. From 55 PlayStation 5 owners, only 3 million sold is insane. But that's my point, right? So just to take this person, okay, this person's quote, again, talking about Xbox, okay? It says a major company who released big game, we don't know who it is, on Xbox in 2023, stating that its representative bluntly said, "I don't know why we bothered supporting it. It references to Microsoft consoles, a rare official update offered during a Best International Games Festival in June of 2023, right? I don't even know why we bothered supporting it, right? And then to say an example, like I just did, Final Fantasy, only on PlayStation, 55 million people own a PlayStation, but only 3.3 million sales happened on that platform. That's more concerning to me, isn't it? That's more concerning to me, right? You had a game that was exclusively for one platform and then didn't sell well. Yes, not including Xbox. If it launched on PC and PlayStation 5 day one, it'd have double the sales. Right. Right. Easily. Easily. If Final Fantasy 16, if it sold 3.3, I guarantee you it sold 5 to 6 million total if it was day and date. Unless Sony buys Square Enix, then they need to do multi-platform. But here's the thing. This is what we as consumers don't understand, and they don't tell us, right? How much did Sony pay Final Fantasy for that contract, right? How much did they pay for it? Square Enix made that money. They get that money up front. Prosy says, Microsoft is going to make people regret they counted them out. Mark my words. Travis says, what's concerning to me is there's people who think exclusives should exist, period. I personally say everything on everything except maybe Nintendo. I think it's a case by case, Travis. I'm okay with exclusives. I am. I'm okay with exclusives, okay? If it makes sense, right? Like, for instance, Mario just being on Nintendo, I think is good. But at the same time, I think if they made some Mario type of game or crossover or something, it could work for them as well. I'm okay with God of War being on PlayStation. I'm okay with, right? Because if we're just talking exclusives, we're talking about just consoles exclusives. Exclusives. If God of War was day and date on PC, and the person that owns a PC doesn't own a PlayStation, doesn't own an Xbox, okay? Then they would make more money off those people because those people are going to, they weren't interested in that game because it's not for their console, not for their platform, I should say. Okay? But this exclusive stuff always goes with consoles. Okay? PC's not included, right, in that talk. Now, there's exclusives that happen on Epic and Steam and stuff like that as well, which is the PC area. Now there's a mixture of what's going on, right? Because anything that Xbox releases, it's on PC and Xbox at the exact same time. Everything that PlayStation releases is at PlayStation and then comes down the road to PC. Yeah, Travis. If it's first party, I'm okay with the exclusive. If it's a third party like Final Fantasy, then there shouldn't be exclusive for a console. Personally. If it's first party, I agree 100% with you. I think if it's first party studio and you want to make it just for your console, cool. Exclusives is really nasty if you only want play one game. All Nintendo characters are only Nintendo, and the other games would allow the third party. It's Nintendo. Like I don't like that Ultimate Alliance 3 was only on Nintendo. Right? To me, that's stupid. Now, I understand because of news stories and why they did it. Because Xbox and PlayStation turned down Ultimate Alliance. Okay? So they went to Nintendo. Nintendo took it. Right? But that's a third-party game going into a platform that's only on that platform. I hate that. I hate the Final Fantasies only on PlayStation. I hate that Ultimate Alliance was only on Nintendo Switch. Okay? First-party titles? Cool. All day long. Exclusive. You want to sell your consoles? Awesome. But if it's a third-party platform or a third-party game, put it on as many as possible. Right, Ultimate Alliance 4, now only on your mobile phone. Yeah. That's the way I feel, though. That's the way I feel. I don't think that what Microsoft is doing is bad. I don't. Even their first-party titles, they see the light. They're like, More people we put it out there for, the more money we're gonna make. Do you think Xbox is gonna be like, well, see if these sales were sad. I don't even know why we ported it over to PlayStation. No, that's a potential of a lot more people. That's 55 million more people that could potentially play their game, try it, do whatever, right? That's 55 million more people that could potentially give them an extra $1. Okay? So they want to put as many platforms as possible. As a business, you want your stuff on as many platforms as possible. As a consumer, you want as many games as possible, right? As a dev, you're like, I don't know if I want to work this hard and make it for 6 different platforms. I don't know if we're a small studio. I don't know if I want to make a Switch, a PlayStation, an Xbox Series S, and then for PC, right? That's a lot of stuff. That's why a lot of independent companies just work on PC. They're already making the game on the PC, and they just make it for PC. Ultimate Alliance was basically a first party, though. Nintendo funded the game, or did not have gotten it made. I understand that, Rose. That's what I said. I said I understand that PlayStation and Microsoft didn't want it, and Nintendo funded it. That's what I said. I said that's why it's on Nintendo. I still disagree with it. Still disagree with it. Because it's not a first-party title. I mean, I bought it. I literally bought a Switch to get Ultimate Alliance. Well, I justified it anyway. Obviously, I have a kid that was 4 years old at the time, and we bought him a Nintendo system. I justified it because I was like, I want to play Ultimate Alliance. I'll make the purchase. Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony should join forces and make a console together. Or they can just take their games and put it on PC. That would be it. They don't have to make a console. This music, way too slow. What's going on here? Fortnite and Call of Duty to do a crossover. I think we see that happen. I think we see that happen. Go on, water. Mafia is better than GTA? I don't know about that. I think they're both good games. Yeah, but are you picking the gameplay, or are you talking about just historical fiction? Right? You might like the era of the 30s more than modern day, but Grand Theft Auto is amazing what it does. That's the way I feel, Kylo. Right? Mafia's good. But GTA is on a different level. Just coming from what a game does. All right, the next story. The next story I want to talk about. Like, why? This one. All right. you guys like what I do here, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We talk about gaming news, have conversations in the chat Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to about noon Eastern. The second article we have comes from Game Rant. It says, rumor, a Marvel first-person shooter could be in development. According to online rumor making the rounds, a new Marvel FPS game could be in development, offering a different perspective on the franchise. Now, just off that alone, I'm just trying to think, what are we getting here? What are we getting? Are we getting Battlefield, Battlefront with just Marvel guys? Are we doing the Endgame battle? Is that what we're doing? Are we doing the Avengers Endgame battle? Okay. Like, what are we doing here? Okay. And I just see a nightmare happening, to be honest with you. Okay. So, a new Marvel game could be in development, according to the latest rumors surfacing online. Currently, Marvel is licensing 5 games, including Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra, which may release sometime in 2025. This new game would mark 5 games under Marvel's wing with no set release date, joining the ranks of the untitled Iron Man and Black Panther games, Marvel's Wolverine, and Marvel's Blade. Now, we do know there's another Marvel game in the works that was multiplayer. Okay, we do know there's a multiplayer game out there that we still haven't heard of. Okay. Now, the Marvel's game division was founded in 2009, but the earliest trace of the catalog traced back into 1982 with the release of Spider-Man on the Atari 2600. Now, over 4 decades later, Marvel's released multiple successful AAA titles and mobile games like Marvel's Snap continue to provide gamers with non-stop content in palms of their hand. Now, in the social media post from Kirkakis, it says that the announcement is expected to be in 2024 to make everything official. The game's title is rumored to be Marvel's Rivals, and also alleged to be a AAA first-person shooter. That takes place in the Marvel Universe. The rumor first began when the unnamed studio in China posted listings on the official LinkedIn company account, seeking new employees to work for AAA budget game. The company location was set in China, and which happens to be the same city as NetEase. Headquarters are located. NetEase. Okay. With this in hands, its prior mobile Marvel games, it wasn't long before the piece were all put together. So it says an update. Unannounced Marvel game that's first reported in January titled Marvel Rivals, developed by NetEase Games, most likely moored below a AAA multiplayer FPS set in the Marvel's universe, PC, mobile, and console. Well, there goes that game, huh? There goes that game. So how does Marvel Rivals could work as a first-person shooter? A first-person shooter introduced in the Marvel's universe could be a refreshing twist on fans have grown used to be past release. Now, while Spider-Man 2 was a blockbuster success, it's encouraged to see some risk being taken over gaming fans of different approach. Now, however, like most rumors circulating online, the best to take information with a grain of salt until the concrete evidence is unveiled with the announcement from NetEase. Now, the first-person shooter also come with the possibility of microtransactions. No. First-person shooter also comes with possibility of microtransactions. No, it's Marvel. It's NetEase. This is like hot dog and bun, burger and fries. This is happening. Microtransactions are going to happen. I will be very shocked if microtransactions don't happen. Okay, with something NetEase isn't unfamiliar with. Both Marvel's Super War and Marvel's Snap are mobile games with the options of purchase extra content through their microtransaction system. And first-person shooters are known to have the same. While the Marvel game with a new genre may be appealing to many, but some expect Marvel Rivals to fall into some rabbit hole as Fortnite, a fun battle royale game with substantial market that lures in players looking to get upper hand and buy new aesthetics of the week. Now, unlike many planned releases in 2025 and beyond, Marvel doesn't have more to offer in the single-player action games, leading some gamers to look for something different. Should Marvel Rivals come to fruition, it would break from the status quo and represent a new chapter in Marvel's gaming universe. Marvel has released their fair share of blunders over the years, of Marvel's Avengers performing below expectations, Guardians of the Galaxy receiving mixed reviews, first-person... Hold on a second. Guardians of the Galaxy was a really good game. People didn't give it a shot because of Marvel's Avengers. I'm just saying. Okay? Fans have been looking for all time until the AAA budget hyped built around it worth it. Now, look, if it's an FPS coming out, then it's got to be the Punisher. Okay? It's got to be the Punisher. Unless it's a multiplayer first-person shooter game, which just FPS, and you think of heroes, right? Are we playing Thor first person where you're shooting lightning out of his hammer? Are we playing Captain America first person where you're throwing your shield? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, it's got to be street level characters. It's got to be someone along those lines of Punisher, I would assume. It would have to be someone that's using guns. Is it Cable? Right? Is it somebody? Is it Deadpool? Like, something has to give here as far as if it's a FPS, right? Which doesn't stand for frames per second in this scenario. It stands for first person shooter. Okay. So I can't imagine like characters that are not using guns as a first person, because then we just get Immortals of Avium again. Okay, so I don't know where they're going here. I mean, I guess it could be a Hawkeye game, as Chad is saying, where you pull back the arrow and you keep shooting stuff. Sure, right? But where is this going? What do you guys think in chat? What do you guys think in the comment section down below? Are you excited for a Marvel's first-person shooter game? I think there's only one answer to this. Okay, there's one answer to this, maybe two. Okay, if it's not the Punisher or if it's not Deadpool, I don't think anybody wants it. I'll be fair, okay? And then obviously it's made by NetEase, okay? NetEase, every time they touch anything, it's got microtransactions in it. And if they're making it rumored for console, PC, and mobile, you can guarantee you it's going to have some sort of microtransactions in it. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Where do you think Marvel's going with their first-person shooter game? And who do you think's making? I mean, not who do I think's making it? What type of game or what type of person, I think I should say, do you think they're going to be using? Do you think it's Punisher? Do you think it's Deadpool? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what we do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Iron Man could be cool. They already have an Iron Man game. Iron Man game is coming out. EA's working on it. That would be stupid, huh? They make an Iron Man game and they make another Iron Man game? 2 Iron Man games? Mr. Seven says, PlayStation PC roadmap goes to Tsushima in a few months, followed by Ragnarok with Final Fantasy 16 closing things out fall and winter. Let's see. Travis, you got the Punisher first-person shooter game already. It's called Duke Nukem. Kylo says, I just got the Punisher on PlayStation 2 last weekend. It's a good pickup. Cutler says, sounds promising. Haven't played NetEase games yet. I'm a little worried that NetEase is making the game, Cutler. That's my only thing. Because it's a mobile game, I mean, don't get me wrong. I played Marvel Future Revolution, and because it was a mobile game, that was the worst part about that game. If that game was on console and it wasn't a mobile game, it would have been really good. But they bake it in to have microtransactions and loot boxes and all this other stuff in those type of games. Robert Jones says, interested? Yes. Excited? Hell no. Didn't Kill the Justice League just give everyone guns? Yeah. Yeah, and everyone hated it, right? Everyone hated it. Can you imagine? Now you got every single Marvel character just running around like Fortnite. At that point, you might as well just use Fortnite. Right? Make a standalone game. Just let them use guns like they do in Fortnite. Fortnite can just have its own separate game mode. What's going on, Mo? Come on, L. Yeah, the 3 people that come to my mind as far as first-person shooter. Now, obviously, a first-person shooter could be Cyclops, right? Shooting lasers out of his eyes, which would be kind of weird. Considering your viewpoint is the camera. So, like, your camera would just go red, and then it would shoot, and you wouldn't see anything, you know, type of thing. But you know what I'm saying? They could use a ability as a first-person shooter, like a Immortals of Avium. type of thing. That's just a little weird. First-person shooter, Punisher, Deadpool, Cable type of stuff. Cable in the future would be dope. Yeah, I think Cable would be a good... It would be interesting to see what happens there. Got a little time travel going in there. Goes back and forth. Could be interesting. Could be interesting. Robert Jones says, NetEase, NFTs. No fucking thanks. I said day one, fifth, if the flight isn't on par with Anthem, it's a dead game. The worst part, Marvel... Oh, you're saying the Iron Man game. You're saying the Iron Man game, Travis, that's coming out. I was going to say, because Anthem and Marvel's Avengers, they did a good job with Iron Man in Marvel's Avengers. Oh, Bishop? That's another one. We could use Bishop. Whatever it is, nobody wants it. Doctor Strange game, Ghostwire Tokyo style? Maybe. Cable's not big enough to get his own game? That's true. That's true. So you know what they could do, Rose? They could change Cable to a girl, and then they could reestablish it. They could just change it. Nobody knows who that character is anyway, right? Oh, if it's weird and stupid, guarantee it's in the game. I would love another X-Men Legends form of ARPG. That's why I like Ultimate Alliance. I would love that, Horseman. I would love that if they did another X-Men thing. First-person Magic could work. Immortals giving it the concept bad name. No, there's other ones. What was that other game we looked up before Immortals of Avion came out? You guys brought it up. There was another game that came out with Magic users shooting stuff. It wasn't a multiplayer game. It was a single-player game that also bombed, right? Which is kind of weird because, like, in Skyrim and other games, you use magic like that, right? And I think it's okay if you use it. You know what they will do? I got it. I know what they're going to do. They're going to make like an Immortals of Avium. It's a first-person shooter game, but instead of first-person shooter, it's like Immortals of Avium, and they're going to use Jubilee. That's what it would be. That's what it'll be. They'll use Jubilee. Juby who? I hate that Marvel Heroes is gone. Makes me sad. I loved Marvel Heroes, man. Paul says, I find the Magic first-person shooter games have way too much visual effects noise in your face. Yeah, it's kind of weird because when you play a Magic user in a game that's not a first-person shooter, you can go third-person, first-person. Everyone's fine with it. Sarge says, Jubilee's good, but we need someone more gay. It's still closer to Anthem, but to me, I can live with it either. Yeah, they have to do something. They have to do something different, right? Here's the problem with a lot of the superhero type of games. I think you have to make it third person, right? First person games, I mean, the whole point of being a superhero is because you want to see yourself in the costume, right? And to go into like first person mode, at least if you're gonna make it a first person, make sure you can go into third person as well, right? Like if first person, third person. But if it's a first person straight up, I mean, it's gonna be really hard. I don't know. It's like, yeah, I'm Wolverine, and all you see is the hands. Do you know what I mean? Like, even Insomniac knows that, right? Insomniac's like, yeah, let's make a Wolverine game, but you got to see Wolverine. You got to see Wolverine. Doesn't matter what character you pick. I don't care if it's Colossus, Beast, right? Magneto. You have to see the character that you are, because the reason we like those characters is because we could see them, right? I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they're making here. I would hate to play a Black Panther game first person, right? I would hate to play a Colossus game where you're first person. Hell, I would hate to even play Punisher first person. You could just make it a separate game. Like, I want to see him. I want to see the trench coat. I want to see the stuff. I don't want to see the trench coat and stuff while I'm in like a menu system. I want to walk around like you do in Batman and Spider-Man and all the other games. I want to see the character. What's going on, Argus? I think it'd be interesting to get a Doctor Strange game. Same time, though, I don't want it to be first person. That's just an Immortals of Avium. Give me third person, first person. Here's the question. What's the percentage that NetEase doesn't put microtransactions in there? I think it's 0. I think it's 0%. Yeah, they're 100% putting microtransactions in that game. Like, yeah, you can buy the new cosmetic skin. Be like, I can't see it. I can't see the skin. It's only $15. Don't worry about it. Right, and it's mobile. That's the scary part right there. Right, Paul. If the rumor's correct and it's Marvel Rivals, that's why I said in the very beginning, what are we getting? The Avengers Endgame battle scene? Right? Are we getting a Battlefront? Are we getting a Battlefield type of game? And then you're running around as all the heroes? Now, don't get me wrong. I think it'd be pretty freaking cool if you did make a game like that. Not first person, though. Right? Just think about it. You make a Battlefield game or Battlefront game, and all the heroes are in there. All the heroes are in there. And then you're having this massive battle with people shooting lasers and shooting webs and shooting you know what I mean? Like, not Batarang, because he's not in Marvel. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you're running around as Cyclops, you're shooting lasers, right? You got another person draining people or putting force fields up. That could be pretty cool, right? But the balancing issues would be through the roof. Be like, yo, dude, you can't use that. Jean Grey is ridiculous. Can't use her as a Phoenix. This is make or break. Only shot. We're going to talk about that in a second. Water's just singing the Eminem show song right now. Yeah, look at Overwatch. They could have invested so much money in the game. It worked. Yeah. Yeah. It would be a balancing nightmare for those characters. But it would be cool. It would be very cool for the... It would be very cool to have a hero... a game like that. And that does make sense now. NetEase making a game like that. But first person? If you're making a first person game like that, I don't know. Someone's like, oh, they just put the DLC and you could be Galactus. Game over. Why can't we get just a simplistic game, right? Give me an X-Men game where it's 4-player co-op and we're just slaughtering a bunch of bad guys. Like, where is that? Also, the more I think of it, likely going to be like an Overwatch. Maybe like a hero shooter. Wouldn't be Balancing Nightmare? Just people complain at the power levels from lore? Right. Well, when they made the characters, Jones, they weren't thinking about making video games, right? They were just making characters that on a piece of paper and telling you stories about them. But now in video game format, now you're putting up... And if you're making a single-player game with those characters, there's no issue. There is no balancing issue, right? This is the same problem you have with like a Superman game. Superman game, it would be kind of like putting a cheat code in. Superman's just super strong and whatever and whatnot going against normal people. But now when you put PvP into it, that's when it goes out the door. That's when it goes out the door. Arga says, what doesn't work for one company can work for another. All depends on how much money they have to make. Investors, shareholders, expectations, the cost ratio. Microtransactions, pay for Infinity Stones, and win every match. No, but the Infinity Stones would only be once a season. And you would have to buy them, and there would be a FOMO edition where you have to buy each stone each season. Okay? Or you could grind for 200 hours per season to try to get it without paying. That's what I'm saying, Rose. Just give me a beat 'em up. Give me a beat 'em up in updated form. Like I don't want another X-Men. Don't get me wrong. If they made an X-Men game like the Turtles game back out, I would buy it hands down because I really like the Eternals Revenge of Shredder. But just give me an updated version of a beat 'em up, right? Not Dungeons and Dragons. Double Dragon. You know, like a game like that, like the Turtles in Time. Give me an updated version, more updated graphics. Give me that type of game. What a fun freaking game, man. $20 microtransaction stones. Yeah. You gotta get... Did you get the green one? Only 3 hours left. You gotta get it. You know what they're gonna do with microtransactions in the future? You guys are gonna hate that I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna whisper it. Because you know what? I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it because if I say it's gonna go out into the universe. When it goes out in the universe, you're gonna blame me, right? It's gonna come back to me. Right? It's gonna come back to me. I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna keep it away. I'm gonna lock it. I'm gonna lock it away. I just came up with a multi-billion-dollar business strategy these companies can do with microtransactions, and it's not safe. No, I'm not gonna type it. I'm not gonna type it. I'll tell you off stream. I'll tell you off stream, Sarge. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Lock and key. Boom. Done. I'm gonna flush it. Hopefully Hopefully the COVID part of my brain grabs it and puts it away and throws it away where I can't remember it ever again. No, I'm not even gonna tell you, Travis. I'm not gonna. I'll just tell Sarge. He'll take it to the grave. He'll take it to the grave. Speaking of graves. Okay. Paul Tassi has an article here. EA's gonna come in. They're gonna be like, pull me away. They're like, we got him. Tell us what you know. It's like X-Men Clone Wars. Well, there's got to be a multiverse included, right? Because we can't all be Cyclops or we can't all be Wolverine. All right. So Paul Tassi from Forbes has an article here. Before we get to that, if you like what we do here, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. So if you'd like to go above and beyond that, you can do what you can do. All right, so Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League approaches its do-or-die moment with Joker's release. Now, we said this before his article. I said, I think Season 1 is a do or die, but at the same time, I don't think the game is dying. Like, the game is not going to close down. They're like, well, that's it. Joker came out. Nobody's playing the game. Like, they already paid for it. It's going to slowly come out. The seasons are here. Inside the game itself, it has 13 Brainiacs to fight. So, it's going to be out. Marvel's Avengers lasted 2 years. This will last 2 years. Okay? Now, if anyone's playing it in those 2 years, that's for them to decide, right? So, he says, this Thursday, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League will test its live service ambition with its first hefty free content update, which will give players the Joker as a new squad member along with a new host of weapons, some new missions, and new boss fight. Now, I think they're doing, based on what we saw in the trailer, I think to get Joker, you have to do a fight to unlock him. Or fight him to unlock him, okay? Now, I said this months ago. I said, I hope that to get him, they just don't give him to us. They let us do story content to unlock him, okay? Which, obviously, there'll be reports and articles written going, oh, you can't even get the new guy. You have to actually play the game. That's going to be an article written, and we'll read it here, okay? This is the effect, probably, of the do-or-die moment for Suicide Squad. Yes, they have a year's worth of content mapped out, but this is the closest live release to launch, which should theoretically be the biggest by default. Plus, it's the giving a player... Well, let me kind of back up a little bit, okay? Yes, this is the biggest one because this is the first one, right? Look at what's happening to Diablo, right? Diablo came out, got brutally beaten, even though they made all your billions of dollars, okay? And then Season 1 came out, and they're like, this is the do or die for Diablo. Then it wasn't. And then Season 2 came out, and they're like, this is the do or die for Season 2 for Diablo, and then it wasn't. And then Season 3 came out, and they're like, this is it. If this doesn't work, it's do or die, and it's done. And then they're like, Season 4, oh, they listened, and it's saved, right? So, obviously, there's a big player differential there, right? There's a lot more people playing Diablo 4 than there is playing Suicide Squad. But to say that, well, this is the biggest by default, plus it's giving the players recognizable characters of the Joker as opposed to a gender flip version of Mr. Freeze the following season. See, now that's another thing they have to like throw in there, right? Right? Well, the gender flip version, they're already kind of preempting like, well, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Even if they do give us Mr. Freeze or Mrs. Freeze or whoever, the daughter of Mr. Freeze, okay? There's a difference between swapping, and again, we don't know, okay? There's a difference between swapping Mr. Freeze for Mrs. Freeze, and there's a difference between Mr. Freeze and his daughter, who also is a Freeze, right? It's also his daughter, who's a girl, who has the same powers as him, right? So there's a difference there. Okay, that's not swapping races or gender swapping. That's his kin, who then takes... Anyway, so the daughter in season after that, the fourth season, is supposed to be released at a higher profile Deathstroke, but I'm not convinced the game is even going to last until then. See, now he says the game's not going to last. Now, this is strange to me coming from Paul, who played Anthem. He played Anthem to like the last part of Anthem, right? Like, we did a podcast together years ago, and both of us played Anthem, and we played together, okay? And we played the endgame content like 2.5 years, 3 years into the actual game. So for him to say that this game won't even last a year is very surprising to me, because he's played a lot of games like those types of games that have lasted multiple years, okay? Now, I'm going to be watching the game's performance where available. We only have the access to the top 10 games in given time of PlayStation, where Suicide Squad was #1 at launch for a brief time. But it never got above the top 20 on the Xbox and quickly dropped of the top 50. which is all we can see online. Now, Steam also has been utter disaster of Suicide Squad with the launch of half as big as Marvel's Avengers. The concurrent player counts have been peaking at under 1,000 for about a month now. It's also current the 1,011th best-selling game on the platform, and a current 65 viewers on Twitch, down from 155,000 when it was sponsored streamers to play at launch. Okay? It says there also needs to be a stratospheric improvement in these numbers, which also seems impossible. And I'll agree with that. That's never going to happen. You're never going to see those numbers go back up. It's very highly unlikely you'll ever see it go back up to the numbers it was at launch, right? Because now they've seen what it is. Not until like 3-4 updates down the road, like Season 4, you might see an uptick, because if Season 1, Season 2, Season 3 get better and better over time, you might see a Taken King type of moment, but very highly unlikely. Okay, so while the results surge at all, these are still games with very positive user scores on the platform, and there's also some solid features like engaging combat and some fun builds. But the game is lacking overall, the part because it butchered its main storyline and started a process of building a live content where the game tells us that we have to fight 13 Brainiac variants in total, in which sounds exhausting. My biggest problem is the 13 Brainiacs, okay, is that if it's just the Flash, Green Lantern, Superman. Now, here's where they could go massively wrong. Now, obviously, we know we're getting Green Lantern, we know we're getting Superman, and we know we're going to get Batman again. Okay, we know that these are just variants of what we fought in the main game. Here's where they could change the factor of that. If new bosses come in and there's variants of those bosses down the road, but if we get a iteration or reiteration of after Superman, after Green Lantern, after Batman come into the game for the second time, if we get a remix again of like it's now Flash and Green Lantern combined, or Batman and Green Lantern combined, that's going to be horrific. Now, we're already getting the rehash, same arena, same type of stuff, same boss fights. That's the worst part about Suicide Squads for me with these Brainiac fights. Okay. As for the Reese specifically, it's the alternate universe version of the Joker, not the dead Arkham variant, with a new look or non-Mark Hamill voice work. Okay, which he doesn't need to put that. He doesn't even put that in there, but he does, because he wants to make sure that this is not the Joker that you like, which also could lessen his appeal a bit. The fact that it remains outside of traversal mechanics, mostly passive skill trees, and ultimately move, all Suicide Squad members share a close same combat move, set of melee, grenade, and same pool of guns. Okay, there's also the monetization question. Suicide Squad is doing what the now dead Avengers did by giving heroes for free, while selling only the battle pass and cosmetic at launch, players friendly to be sure, but that's not what it seems poised to make a significant amount of revenue. Now, here's the thing. Are they just giving us the character, or are we earning the character by playing story? Now, a lot of people might not like the story, but as long as they continue telling a story from the main storyline into this storyline for Season 1A and then Season 1B, if they keep telling a story and it keeps progressing, I think that could be the comic book moment, which could bring people back, at least come back every season, at least twice, if not, a couple times throughout the year. Okay. So it says player friendly to be sure, but it also does not seem poised to make a significant amount of revenue. A low player base will also see a small portion return to its peak to play a live content like this, and even smaller fraction will allow to pay for something like cosmetic battle pass if they can use Joker for free. So good luck. Avengers did this and failed miserably. Though the game has also at least lasted around 2 years for live content. Every single active player on Steam could buy the $10 battle pass, and you're earning $8,000 from the entire platform for the entire season. Normal numbers are more like 10% actually purchase things like battle passes, which also would be a whopping $800. It says, I'll remain skeptical of the Suicide Squad will even last the year, and that's through the first 4 seasons of live content. I think the game truly is performing that badly, and if we receive a very poor post-launch support, since it releases including utter lack of helpful balance patches and some players being locked entirely out of the game for close to 2 months. So, this is it. The Joker doesn't land. I think the game's 2% chance to turn things around. Now, I don't think he's wrong about, a lot of people are going to see this and go, nah, I'm good. And they're looking for anything, right? People are looking for anything. The people that come to your channel, or my channel, and talk shit like this game's dead, those people actually want this game to succeed, but they're just trying to cope with, they spent the money on the game, and that it's not coming back. And they just want to make sure that but they really want the game to come out, but they're like, They're looking for anything. If Joker comes out and he is bisexual, if he is gay, they're going to use that as the antithesis of being, that's it. I'm done with the game. I'm not playing the game, right? Where if Mrs. Freeze comes in the game and it's not his daughter and it's that's it. They're done with there because they changed Mr. Freeze. Everyone's looking for some reason to hate the game and instead of just playing the game, okay? The game itself is not a bad game. Not. Okay? The story of the game is not a bad story. It's also not a great story. It's just a good story, okay? So no matter what happens, you're not going to get a turnaround. You're not going to get a No Man's Sky moment with this game. This game made a game, sold a game, and it just was a bad choice on their part because of the way they went about doing it. One of the worst things I think that this game and the company did, Rocksteady did, was went completely silent for almost 2 weeks, okay, when the game came out, right? Helldivers, 6 hours in, actually it was almost a week. They went completely silent, right? And now it's been 2 months since this game has been out, and they still haven't fixed all the bugs and all the bugs and glitches, which is now reminding me a lot about Marvel's Avengers, and Marvel's Avengers was chasing its tail. Okay, now the difference between Marvel's Avengers with Crystal Dynamics and Rocksteady with this game is, if this game is now fixed, the patch comes out today, you can pre-download it now, okay, once it goes back up. If they actually fix the actual problems, and the game doesn't have these problems like Marvel's Avengers did, and the game actually works correctly, then they can start just working and actually maintaining the game. Where if they're continuously chasing their tail, it's over, okay? Regardless if they have a comeback moment 12 months from now, okay, where all 4 seasons are in the game, you get the game for $30, worth the money, with all the content, but is that going to have enough content and enough substance in this game to make it last? It's going to be there regardless for 2 years. Mark my words. I think it's going to be there for 2 years. Regardless if it makes it or not and people are playing it, it's going to be out for 2 years. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. And if you like what we do here, please make sure you check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me see here. I'd rather play her than the Joker. Reminds me of Street Fighter vs. Tekken. They have Power Stones, and they were paid DLC. How did she get her abilities? Did she make the same mistakes as her scientific father? Have no idea. Maybe he made her that way. Maybe she doesn't have powers, but she wears the suit like her father, right? But maybe she doesn't need it to actually breathe. Maybe she just has the suit because what the good guys did to her father, maybe, and again, I have no idea. Maybe the good guys made her a villain. Her origin story is they killed her father, and then now she's taking revenge. Who knows? Okay. Yes, people play this shit out of the game still. Yeah, there's still people that play the game. Like I said, I don't think the game is dead. Like, it's not going to close down and you can't play it. It's going to last for at least the 20 months to 2 years. And when I say that, I mean supported for the 20 months to 2 years. Let's see. Anthem Mafia put 400 hours in the games he hates. Makes sense. What's going on with the industry? Jesus, jumped up Christmas. Just make a fucking game. He thinks it's 100% right. This patch does not fix the mastery level bug. I'm walking away and deleting it. Right, but even if you walked away, Dave, they got your money, right? They're not charging for any of the stuff coming down the road. There's zero being charged. Unless you buy a microtransaction. Right? Did you buy a microtransaction? Did you get the pre-ordered edition of the game? Right? Did you get the higher edition to play early as well? All right, Travis, have a good one. There's a lot of people saying that this has already been fixed, so I'm hoping it's true. They need to finish the offline mode. Yeah, the fact they didn't have it at launch, that's sad. I think most of the sales came from PlayStation 5 anyway, so you wouldn't know how many people are actually playing the game. How much is the game right now? I think the game right now is like $60 still, if I'm not mistaken. I would have to look it up. Well, I got it for Christmas as well, right? They didn't make the $100 off you, but they made the $100 off somebody, right? Wife, family, friends, whatever, right? So they made that money. My point to it, Dave, is not for you specifically did they get your money, right? Is that they made not only the $70 for that game, but you also paid the $100 version, as is I, okay? Even though I didn't pay with my own money, but I got it as a gift for Christmas, okay? They have that money. So not only did you get a copy and I got a copy, but the extra $30 that you paid and the extra $30 that I pay almost pays for one more extra copy. Okay? So they made the money off of us. So if you don't buy a microtransaction at all, right? That's it. You're not who they're going for. They got the money out of you. They got the money out of me. They got the money out of Argus, right? That's you can't go, well, the game shit, it's done. They got your money. That money is in their pockets. They're now putting it into different funds and whatnot. Yeah, it's $70 right now. Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad on Steam. $70. Deluxe edition, $100. Yep. On Steam. $70. $100. Right? It goes on sale, don't get me wrong, but still full price. Let's see. Right now, on Green Man Gaming, it's $35.69. On CD Keys, it's $35.19. G2A, $14. PlayStation 5 at GameStop. I'm assuming that's a used, or is that, yeah, it's pre-owned. $50. Target, $53.99. Best Buy, $100. I wonder. I'm going to make a correlation here, right? We do know PlayStation, because L just hit me, like, it just struck me in my head. The game did well on PlayStation 5, right? I wonder if this line right here, I don't know why we bothered supporting the Microsoft console. I wonder. Again, I'm not connecting them. I'm just saying, GDC, AAA company, big company said, I don't know why we bothered supporting it in reference to Microsoft's console. We do know it's like a 4-to-1 split, or more people are playing it on PlayStation than Xbox. Okay? I wonder. Is that Rocksteady? Is someone from Rocksteady said that? Was it Suicide Squad? Oh, wait. It came out in 2023, not 2024. Nope. I take that back. I retract everything I just said, because it's from 2023. It's from 2023. It's a game that came out in 2023, not 2024. But it sounds familiar, because it didn't sell very well for Xbox. There's less people playing Xbox than there is people playing PlayStation. But at the same time, It doesn't matter for Suicide Squad because it's crossplay. And that's the saving grace for this game. That's the saving grace for this game, that you can play against PC and PlayStation and Xbox, because if it wasn't, this game would be absolute, then it would be dead. But because you can play, it doesn't matter, because as a gamer, I turn my Xbox on. I don't care if it's Xbox users, PC users, or PlayStation. I turn on, there's someone that match makes with me and we play the game. Right? That's a problem that Marvel's Avengers had in the beginning. Well, for the entire thing, actually. Can we get more RoboQuest? Oh, on gameplay? Yeah, I could play a round or couple and then put it on 30 and still gaming. I'm not going to do a live stream with it again. Not anytime soon, anyway. There's way too many games coming out that I'm playing. Tonight, we're playing South Park Snow Day, gifted by El Nini. I'm waiting for to catch Suicide Squad on deep sale or free. Yeah, I think if you wait until like season 3, season 4, I think you could pick it up for like $30 at that time, for sure. Argus says, most people play third-party games on console anyway, and my third-party experience on Xbox is excellent. So, don't know why I would say, why do we even support Xbox? That's a heavily uninformed take. Guess what I'm downloading, bro? Fallout 76. Do a free weekend when the season starts would be a good idea. Not a bad idea. Sarge says no shot. Oh, I gotta check if Tweak hasn't got back to me yet. What am I downloading, bro? Let me see. Old game or new game, Sarge? Argus says they may be a smaller portion of the market than the PlayStation, but they aren't a small portion in general. Never get that take. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier in the stream, Argus. I was like, there's still 25 million people. Right? 20. Can you imagine going like, yeah, I'm not going to support the 25 million people over on this platform? Like, what? Let's play 20 questions with Sarge and see if we can get it down. All right, let's play 20 questions with Sarge. Okay, I don't know the answer. Okay. So let's start with Paul. Okay, so Paul says single player. All right, single player. Yes or no, Sarge? We got our first question there. We won't count Jason's question of Sarge actually plays games. Single player, okay? Single player. Dolphin asks third party. Argus says it can't coat that much more money, or it can't cost that much more money ported already existing assets to another platform, although, or a platform enough to decide that you want to skip the platform altogether. You have Xbox One owners, Xbox Series S, X owners. True. We don't even know if that game that he's talking about even worked for the older systems or just the newer systems. Okay. Third party, yes. That's question 2. Is it sci-fi? I was gonna say, is it sci-fi? We got to ask 2 questions. Is it sci-fi? Paul says third person or first. That's actually technically 2 questions. You can't ask third person or first. You have to ask, is it third person? Because I couldn't ask. You can't say, is it fantasy or sci-fi? That's 2 questions. Right? So you got to ask it individually. Hybrid, kind of. Hybrid, kind of. Wintar says RTS. Now, wait. I have a question, Sarge. Is the hybrid kind of to Paul's question of third person, first person, or my question of the fantasy? I'm sorry, of sci-fi. You guys are wasting questions. He hasn't even answered the question yet. What are we talking about? We're trying to figure out what Sarge has downloaded. He downloaded. We're playing 20 questions with Sarge. We were talking about Suicide Squads. Is this their last thing? We're gonna go over their patch notes in a second. Jason, stop going specific. Stop taking guesses. We gotta narrow it down. Yeah, come on. You guys ever play Guess Who? You ask if it's male or female. You ask if it's wearing glasses or no glasses. You can't ask direct questions like that. Have you guys ever played 20 questions before? Fuck's sake. You can't say what year. You got to ask the year. You would have to ask a question like Jones, and this is not a question I'm asking Sarge. You would have to say, is it in the last 10 years? Is it in the last 5 years? Ford says, did Sarge already play Baldur's Gate? If not, oh, that's it, Ford. That's it. I think he finally got the, because sidebar, I haven't received, oh, damn it. Sidebar, I haven't received it. All right, we have to figure that out because we bought Sarge. We bought Sarge it for Christmas, the digital deluxe edition, and he has yet to receive it yet. So we gotta figure out why you haven't received it yet. It said it was supposed to come out like first quarter. So you got like this week. How big's the download size? He can't give you specifics. That's a wasted question. What was the question? Let's see. I can't tell. What do you mean can't tell? He asked you if it's on Game Pass. It's a yes or no question. You don't know if it's on Game Pass? Well, that means you bought it. Okay. Hybrid. Jason's not part of our team, Sarge. Don't take anything Jason says. Don't take anything he says. Oh no, delete number 11. Sarge doesn't even own a goddamn Switch. For fuck's sake. No, you can't ask price point. You have to say a price range. Per person, hybrid. I'm assuming the hybrid thing. You still never answered my question unless I missed it. When I asked if it was sci-fi, and you said hybrid. I don't know if that was for me or for Paul's question earlier. The camera really slow? No, okay. My Little Pony. Not a question. That's a statement. And that could be a guess. More fantasy. A little sci-fi. Okay. More fantasy. All right. Trying to think. And you said no to first-person shooter. Paul says, all right, did it score above 8 out of 10? 8 out of 10 on IGN. That's the worst. That's the worst question because everything scores like a 7 or an 8. Mike, you got to educate some people here how to not play 20 questions. Yeah, I'm amazed that a lot of you don't even know how to play 20 questions. Single player, hybrid, older, third. Like, let's work as a team here. Yeah, Ford's got right. All right. So Sarge, okay, single player, hybrid, older, third party game that may or may not have been on Game Pass at some point. Currently isn't. Okay. We got 8 questions left. Well, it's free. Hybrid, not first-person shooter, not RTS. So action-adventure. Fantasy. Something that he doesn't own. He also said old, right? He said older? Let me see. He said third person, third. He said older. Old now is what he said. Old now. Right at the end, we're like, well, that's it. Find out tonight. Well, if we don't guess it, yeah, I think he has to tell us tonight or a Thursday on the stream. Let us hang. Old in gaming terms. That's so generic. No, that's throwing us off. When you say old in generic in gamers terms. Screw it. I'll ask the question. Is it in the last 10 years? Because 10 years is not old. But you're saying gamers is old. The question is, does Sarge even know when the game came out? One year is old for gamers. I'm trying to think of what it could be. Still not answer my question. All the wild angler? Stop it, Eclipse. Stop it! Sarge is a guy that likes RTSs, strategy-type games. He likes action-adventure type games like a Fallout, like a Skyrim. Right. Big thing. Is free, he said. Which, wait a minute. Wait a minute. If it's free, that means it's on Xbox Live. Xbox? It's free this month on Xbox? Or was it on PC? Oh, man. Did he answer that? That's not a question. I haven't asked Sarge. Did he say it was on PC or console? Hmm. It's free. Is it on console? Sarge? That's my question. Is it on console? Who asked that? Who asked did you play it before? Where was that one? Who asked that? I feel like I'm watching Ghostbusters right now. No. Who I didn't say anything. Did you say anything? Ray? Ray, did you say something? Who asked if it was old? Oh, for God's sakes. For God's sakes. You guys are just wasting stuff. Oh, God's sakes. Alpha Protocol, Jesus. Don't count Jason's. Jason's not part of our team. We got him out. He's not part of it. That's Superman 64 is not part of it. Jax came in. Winner, Jax. Says Final Fantasy 14. You win absolutely nothing, Jax, but we won as a team. We won as a team. Lots of dumb questions were asked. But surprisingly, Jax came in. Jax, whatever he was doing, he's at work, he's at his house, he's probably like doing something, and he hears me screaming, and he's like, oh, for fuck's sake, what's happening here? He like sprinted across the house and then typed in real fast, it's Final Fantasy 14. He hit enter and he walked away. I was actually going to say Final Fantasy 14, but it threw me off. It threw me off because I asked if it's fantasy. That's why I asked if it's fantasy. And then he said hybrid. And I was like, it's in the fucking title. It's in the title. It says fantasy in the title. That's it. That was one of my first guesses. But I was like, oh, let me throw it out there first. That's why I asked, is it fantasy? Yeah, foul on the play. Foul on the play. Final Fantasy is fantasy with little sci-fi. Fantasy. That's why I asked if it's sci-fi. If it's not sci-fi, then I was going to go in. It's all fantasy, man. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you. Most of you don't know how to play 20 questions. You either never played 20 questions growing up, or you just really suck at it. Some of your questions were terrible. Final Fantasy Online, you can play free up to level 70. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can actually play more. You can hit 70 and still continue playing. You just can't play the new content after 70. It could have been Superman. To have that, Jason, he would have to... I'm not even going to go into this. First of all, deducted points for Sarge right now. Because you just said Shaq's voice. It's just terrible. That's Charles Barkley, not Shaq. God damn it, Sarge. Jesus Christ. For God's sakes. Terrible. Terrible. That's Charles Barkley. Yeah. F on the chat for Sarge. That is terrible. Shaq's voice. No one else knew, just you. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right. Charles Barkley.
That's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible.
That is terrible. That is terrible. And that's right. He does say terrible. He does say terrible. You said Shaq's voice, but read it Barkley's voice. Oh, man. It's like saying Destiny's a single player. Yeah, no, he threw us off. It was a bad game all around. People couldn't guess correctly. You guys were guessing terribly, and Sarge wasn't being official with what it's on there. All right. I want to go over Suicide Squad's patch notes so you can see what they're doing for the patch. It says, hello, people of Metropolis. Due to some website issues at the end of last week, we're a little late to this one, but it was still wanted to get this out and developer update out to you. The season of Joker is nearly here, and there are also just a few short days until the first new recruit joins Task Force S, so it's perfect time for both of us to returning players to dive into Elseworlds and see what we surprise in Season of Joker holds. It says, the state of the game. Last week, we saw both the release of the first trailer of Season 1, okay, and a full patch notes of Season 1 update. The next patch will be available to download on Tuesday, 26th March, which is today. You can also read the full patch notes here, which we did. It's super freaking long, right? We know many of you have been eagerly awaiting a patch to fix several issues, and also thank you for your patience. This is the biggest update yet, with hundreds of fixes and gameplay improvements, so we'd like to highlight some of the bigger ones and changes come along with Season 1. Fixes of the Mastery Progression issue, achievement issues, and login issues. The login issues, multiplayer issues, and load time issues, back-end fixes along with more in the patch itself to address these issues. We believe the issue is also will be solved for a significant number of players, with further fixes planned for any players still affected. The fact that there's still going to be people affected, that's a bummer. Okay, but hopefully they nip it in the bud soon. Hopefully for the majority of people. Okay. It says changes. Brainiac will now take damage from counters in the Finite Crisis. Okay, we noticed that defeating Brainiac was taking a little longer than expected, especially at a higher mastery level. We hope that this change will also make the fight snappier and more intense, and make countering Brainiac more satisfying. Yeah, he doesn't do anything. Like, hitting him, you have to do damage to him. Just the countering doesn't, right? So now more HUD customization. The patch will include the ability to toggle off on health, shield bars, XP bar, mission, objective, and more. Update to sniper enemies, teleport behavior, right? We read that last week. So, what's coming new? What's coming new into the game? We have new status effect, Poison. The infamy set in episode 1 will be themed around Scarecrow and all the fear it instills. One of the key new mechanics shared between the infamy sets is several notorious items in Poison, a delvish new way to deal damage over time to enemies to reduce the amount of damage they deal. However, Poison enemies drop less shields than Harvest, making for a high-risk, high-reward style of play. There's also a multitude of ways to boost the power of Poison to synergies, with all waiting for you to discover. I actually kind of like that. They fixed the shield thing, so if you want to get your shields back, if you poison them, you're going to get less shields back when you do that. But at the same time, I like it's a give-take type of thing, right? Just what the doctor ordered. Having now teased a couple of weapons you can also expect in Season 1, we hear that the theory crafting are aligning for more of the details upcoming gear, and we also got just a prescription for you. The Tier 1 Scarecrow Infamy set is focused around poisoning enemies and increase their shield harvest chance. This makes both the Great Skeleton and construction of the poison build around for fearsome addition of the shield harvest build. I'm looking at you, Sharkmane. In addition to all the usual powerful benefits of Infamy sets, the Fear bonus, which provides bonus powerful effects in each tier during Episode 1. So, you can see successful critical reloads trigger a stack of Mind Melt. The stack 5 times. Each stack adds 20% chance to poison enemies hit from the firearm. Failed critical reloads remove all stacks from Mind Melt. Okay. Then also, critical hits apply poison to enemy hit. Okay, killing a poisoned enemy triggers Poisoned Mind, which also can be stacked 20 times to last for 30 seconds. Each stack of Poisoned Mind increase the chances of triggering the enemy to become shield harvestable from poison damage by 5%. Each stack of Poison Melted increased your critical hit damage by 25%, and each stack of Poison Melt increases the shield harvest damage by 50%. Killing an enemy with Shield Harvest removes 3 stacks of Poison Mind, but spreads poison to all other enemies within 10 meters. Okay, with all that talk of poison, you know that Dr. Poison had to get involved. So here's the one. So Moral 2 Injector is just a way to really get toxic. Okay, the standard fire also a weapon with poison. Any enemy hit. The Alter Fire will also massively boost damage to poison enemies, make the perfect finisher. Okay, so Dr. Poison's Injector. Okay, shoot the poison deals 250% increased damage to poison enemies. Critical hits on poison enemies makes them shield harvestable, and killing the poison enemies has a 30% chance to spread poison to enemies. That's going to be huge. If you can get a poison build grenades, okay, and then you use this, okay, deals 250% increased damage to poisoned enemies. That's going to be pretty. There's some really cool builds that you can do. Okay. We've already shown off a look of the Mad Hatter's 3-leaf clover, but it's also just to show you off the villain synergy that it comes with the Scarecrow Infamy set. By dealing critical hits, you also add hats to your collection, and you also get enough to wild effects to start happening. The perfect addition to the crit build, a poison build, and a live wire bolt build, or because you just love hats, this is just a taste of somewhat synergies combos come in the episode. Okay, so each enemy you hit with a melee attack becomes poisoned, and you regenerate 10% shields. That's it's gonna be huge for Harley Quinn. Okay, keep your hat on. When you kill an enemy with critical hit, you add a hat to your collection. When you have 7 hats on your crazed things happen. Okay, A, increase your damage dealt by 100% for 20 seconds. but you also take 50% more damage. Woo! B, increase infliction resources generated by 500% for 20 seconds. C, completely refills health and shields and makes you immune to damage for 10 seconds, but you deal 50% less damage for your duration. Okay. There's also Twitch drops. You get Twitch drops. Go to connection to page. Yeah, so this is the Joker's collection that you can get. And that's it. So, look, something this game does well is I really like the builds that you can do in this game. That's for Suicide Squad, DMX. Right? I really like how they do builds in this game. The sad part about this game is that what they did with the Brainiac fights and whatever they go forward with that. But the actual getting the gear, it respects your time for getting the gear. Using the gear in the actual world feels good, and your builds that you actually get feels good. It almost feels good as when you play Division 2, and you really have that focused loot where you can go get the targeted loot system. You can do that in this game. Not really so targeted, but you know where to get it. Like if you go to this stronghold or you go to this particular mission, that's going to drop. There's a chance of it dropping in there. So it's not specifically loot targeted, but it is loosely loot targeted. And I like that. I like that. You can make your build pretty fast. Within, I would say, 30 minutes to 40 minutes, you can have a good build around what you have. If you're unlucky, then maybe not. Look, I want this game to succeed. I do. I want the game to succeed. I want every game to succeed. I don't want a game to, like, die off because of, like, just shit takes. Okay? I hope it does. I hope they have this moment where the game comes back. But I think, like I said, it's going to last the 2 years. It's going to last 20 months to 24 months. But the more stuff that comes in, like right now, if you didn't play the game or you pick up this game in Season 3 or pick it up in Season 4, you buy it for $30, $20, maybe it's free, maybe it's on Game Pass, who knows. There's no FOMO, so you can go grind for this gear, you can go grind for the Bane gear, you can go grind for Scarecrow's gear, you can go grind for, you know what I mean? You can go grind for these things to make the build that you want, and it's always going to be in the game, and that's a good thing. Let's see what you guys are saying. You don't have to play with anybody. You can do all the dungeons by yourself. You'll have an AI companion, so technically it's all single-player game. It's just also an MMO. Also levels of their own, and they also may go with friends on occasion. Oh, you know what? You know what I like so far? I think I want to play Dragon's Dogma 2 on a stream one night. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I want to play it just so you guys can teach me what the going on. Right? There's a lot of stuff in that game that I'm a little confused about, and I would rather get it and talk to you guys during a stream than look up videos. I'll be honest. Okay? I really like what I'm doing in Dragon's Dogma 2 right now, right? So I like the fact that other games do this, but I like what they do where if you do a mission, there's a dotted line on your map to tell you, like, you know, where you've been. They put the marker in the position, but the map is really, like, hard to read. But I like that your pawns, your companions, that you say, oh, hey, let's go. And they kind of follow me, and then they stop, and they take a path, and they, like, wave you down. And I like how the interaction with your pawns happens. I also like, Sarge would like this as well, we like playing games where all of a sudden, like, all the NPCs on the board, like, join your forces, and then you, like, all fighting someone at the same time. Like, I was getting, what's it called? I went up against was it a Minotaur? An ogre? I forget what it was. A big freaking guy. Not only did me and four of the three other companions, my pawns, fight the thing, but there was a passing other group of NPCs that happened to be in the area. So there was like 8 of us fighting this one guy, and I was like, this is awesome. It was really action-packed, right? Like the dialogue that's going on. The dialogue's good. The world feels lived in. I really like it. I'm really having a good time. I've only played about 4 hours so far, but I really like it. Very slow, good combat. But if you like WoW combat, then you probably won't like it. Global cooldowns. Oh, you guys talk about Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy. Argus says, I've been enjoying Dogma 2. Played it on the low-powered, crappy work laptop using Shadow Cloud PC. High settings, 60-plus frames per second. I normally play most games on console, but not this one at 30 frames. I'm playing at 30 frames. I'm playing on a console. I have no problem with it. But again, doesn't mean people don't have problems with it. I'm okay with it. The only time I see when I'm in the cities, no matter where I am in the world, nothing like pops in. But in the cities, you'll see people just appear in front of you, and then they walk by you, right? They'll just like appear like 4 feet in front of you. Lots of people in the cities, and they do pop-ins a lot. Not really immersion breaking, but it's there. Water says it's been turned up a bit in Dragon Dogma 230. It's dope. One of the towns got attacked by a Cyclops, and the entire town whooped its ass. See, I was amazed, and I love the fact that you're like, to me, like, me and Sarge talk about this in the original Battlefront games, where you can bring in other guys with you and go tell them attack or stay with you. I love the fact in Dragon Dogma 2, you can tell them, like, go, come to me, help me, right? So the guy will come in. If you have a person that can heal you, he heals you. I think it's really cool. How big is the game world? I couldn't tell you. I don't really know how big the world is. Because you're traveling from paths and there's a lot of stuff in between, it's not so open world. It's more it feels open, but at the same time it's very narrow because you're on these paths on the cliff sides and stuff like that. So it is an open world, but at the same time it's sort of on rails. Do you know what I mean? That makes sense. Rails is a bad word. Like, it's not on rails. It's just more disguised hallways, I should say. Oh, here's another thing, right? I like that I fought a griffin, okay? The griffin came down and attacked me, and we were, like, whooping its ass, but then it went away. Like, it was like, fuck it, I'm getting my ass kicked, and then it took off, right? I was like, wow, that's cool. I love the fact that I died. I should have clipped it. So I climbed on top of the griffin. I climbed on top of the griffin, and I'm a thief, right? And I was just stabbing it in the head. I was just stabbing it in the head. And then it took off in the air, right? And then I got weak or whatever. My stamina ran out, and I fell off, and I landed on the ground. I died. Another time, I was on the back of a... what's it called? I was on back of a Cyclops, and I was up on his upper back here, and I was just stabbing him, right? And then all of a sudden, he, like, bent down... and then just did like a WWE move is the best way I could describe it. Like, I'm on his back, and he decided to just do a suplex maneuver on himself. Okay, and it completely destroyed me. I was almost dead. I was like, this is awesome. I also had my whole team get wiped out. We're fighting on a cliffside. Right, we're fighting on a cliffside, and all of a sudden the griffin came down and swooped, hit a bunch of trees, and shoved my whole team off the mountain. They were dead. I was like, oh. I was like, that's good. Here's one thing I would like to do better. When you look for pawns in that realm, I wish it was a more of a better process. I was trying to find... So there's a list that you can look at, but you can't see them, okay? And I know this is very specific. It's not really a mark against them. But I want to see... I was trying to make a group. And I wanted to make the group, which was all celebrities, right? So because I made Jack Burton, which is a little off, but it's Jack Burton, okay? I got to get better with the character creation. But I was trying to find other celebrities that people made, but you can't look for them, right? You can't look for certain things. So now I got to go on like forums and stuff and see if I can find them and then do like a search or something. I'm a sorcerer in Dragon Dogma 2, so I can't levitate and have myself from falling across big gaps pretty easily. Oh, that's cool. I don't know if I like the thief. I was trying to go into the mindset, not that Jack Burton's a thief, but the Adventures of Jack Burton. I'm trying to make it like an episodic type of thing, and I made him a thief, but maybe I should make him a warrior. I don't know. I know you can switch it in game later. Oh, Sarge, I could tell you. Hold on, I could tell you what server I'm on. So if you ever want to play, we can play. Hold on. Let me turn it on. But you know what I think I just did? Actually, you know what? Don't even fucking worry about it. I had to remove it to put Dragon Dogma 2 on because it was too big. So pick whatever server you want. pick whatever server you want. I was like, I don't have time for 2 big games. I did, Dustin. Yeah, I bought it. I'm making content. Something I wanted to do with Starfield, which I didn't do. I just made live streams. I'm trying to make content off of Dragon's Dogma, the Jack Burton Adventures, sort of like I did Captain's Log for Starfield. I'm trying to do something for Dragon's Dogma, and I'm playing the game off stream, and I'm just recording everything. And then I'm going to work on something and put something together. I think I'm level like 14 or 15 right now. You can level up pretty fast in the game. What's max level? What's max level? I think my favorite part about Dragon's Dogma 2 so far is just how, I don't know, immersive it feels when you're playing. Like it feels like it's lived in. It feels like, obviously you could talk to everybody in the town. Like you could go up to anybody and talk to them. And then I like how you can recruit people. So you can like, how do I describe this? So you could fight along your pawns and build up like that relationship. Not a relationship like a Baldur's Gate 3 type of relationship. But I'm talking about like your group of your pawns that you always run with. Or you're like, oh, you know what? I don't need you right now, right? I'll save you for later, and then hire somebody else to go on a mission with you, right? And you kind of like build up that stuff. It's really cool. Water says 999. Really? Wow. Okay. You've been playing a long time, Water. What level are you right now? The max level you can reach in Dragon Ball 2 is an astonishing level 999. And no, that's not a typo. So it's like a division where it just keeps going. It's like a Skyrim where you just keep going. I mean, it's not just keep going. It stops at 999, but who knows? But maybe they'll raise that up. I'm not sure if they released a fix, Dupless. Not sure. I think they did, didn't they? Didn't they say they released or they're going to? Let's see here. It says on the Twitter account, it says, to all Dragon Dogma 2 players, we're planning to release patches including following updates and fixes to the near future. We'll release them as soon as they are ready to distribute to each of the platforms. So there you go. And this is some of the fixes they're doing. Updates for all platforms, adding the option to start a new game when save data already exists. Changing the number of art metamorphosis items available for Pawn Guild in the game to 99. Making the quest that allows players to acquire their own dwelling. Miscellaneous text disabled or display fixes. Miscellaneous bug fixes. For the Series X and S, adding the option to switch motion blur on and off. Adding the option to switch ray tracing on and off. Adding the option to set frame rate to either variable or max 30 frames in options. Wait a minute. Variable or max? Does that mean it goes higher than 30? Or they... Okay. So variable is going to be higher than 30, but 30 is locked at 30. The game looked awesome, but I can't give them money. I know I'm not buying it. Not going to hurt them, but I can't do it. I'll get it on sale eventually. Yeah, I respect that. I respect that. Frame rate on Dragon's Dogma 2 is currently uncapped on console. Locking it to 30 will benefit those with 60 Hz panels. Got it. Got it. Got it. What graphics card do you have, Water? I was thinking about getting it on PC, but then I was just like, if I have any problems with it, I was like, I'll just get it for console. It's just easier for me to get it on console. Because if I wanted to play it online, like on stream, it would suffer on my computer. New major order in Helldivers. All right. Oh, Paul's talking about the fast travel. Here, I'll read this, right? He's talking about fast travel in Dragon's Dogma 2, right? He says, we need to talk about the fast travel in Dragon Dogma 2. Okay? At this point, I cannot hold my tongue about the least favorite part of the game. I'm otherwise really enjoying. That would be fast travel in Dragon Dogma 2, or often the lack thereof. Before launch, Dragon's Dogma 2 director went on his way and talked about the game's lack of easy fast travel, or even machines or like horses, mounts, or speed up journeys. Okay? He says, while I understand what he's talking about in theory, in practice, the system that meant to be set up more dynamic encounters and encourage exploration does the exact opposite, and closing in to 20 hours with the game, and I'm not finding it any better, nor do I sign on the logic being used here. Okay, the game does have fast travel, just extremely limited convoluted ways. You can also ox cart travel between major cities once you discover them, but they are few and far between. While they're cheap, often not to help much depending on your objective, nor do anything when you're out in the wild. Then the idea of currency system that allows you to spend somewhat a rare fairy stone to fast travel between beacons on the map, making it cautious about when to disappear enough to use it. As the game unfolds, you will be able to set up your own beacons around the map, but again, 15 plus hours in, and I have gotten one of those. It's also still exploring the map, and I don't even know where to put it. All the servers to build something resembling a fast travel system, but one either rarely use the cost of annoying currency to use, and I think this is a whole system does the opposite of what it says it's designed to do. The idea of the encouraging exploration with the system is nonsense. Name any other game, big game, in this genre, Elden Ring, Breath of the Wild, Skyrim, whatever, and they will find games that you have readily available fast travel while obviously encouraging lots of exploration. Just because you can freely travel around the map once you find the existing location, that does not discourage you to explore dark corners of new places on the map. Well, I have a question here. I know he's talking about Dragon's Dogma 2, but yet there's people complaining about Starfield's fast travel, right? So he's saying that it does not discourage you from exploring dark corners of the new places on the map, but it does. Fast travel makes you miss those things in the map. Hence why people in Starfield miss a lot of things, because they're fast traveling. Okay? He says, but I constantly find myself being discouraged in Dragon's Dogma. I trekked all the way to the new city that was given a quest to find a missing boy endangered by some wolves. The POI for this was about 10 minutes walk back to exactly where I just came from. Rather than struggle through hundreds of rounds of draining stamina recharges, it's walking past chests I already opened. I left the kid to the wolves. This idea that dynamic things can happen when you're walking instead of fast traveling may technically be true, but the vast majority of the time it's just fighting the same trash mobs you've already fought on the same pass 3 to 4 times. But here's where I stand. It's a video game. It's a video game, right? Like, if I walk in real life, if I walk from my house to the supermarket, I'm passing the same buildings. I'm passing the same people, right? Sure, there might be random people walking on the thing, but you're going to see the same people because that's where they live, right? Like, that's what it is. So, I understand it's a video game, okay? But it sounds like a complaint here, right? This idea dynamic things can happen when walking instead of fast traveling may technically be true, but the vast majority of the time, it's just fighting the same trash mobs. Yeah, but fighting the trash mobs give you you pick up stuff from them. If it's bones or food or meat or whatever it is, and then you use that to make things, right? Like, you don't also have to play like a regular game. Now, play the game how you want. Everyone play the game how you want, but I think there's a design point in the game where if I go from city A to city B and then complete that task and go back to A, you can play that. That's how most people play video games. Or you can go from A to B, you complete the task, and then you go from B to C, and then C to D, and D to E, and then you do all these things, and then you happen to go back and then turn that stuff in, right? Because you're getting XP as you go, you're getting money as you turn it in. Now, if you want to play the game, you go A, B, A, C, A, D, and you're going back and forth, and you're bored, cool. But you could also explore. You could also go out and do things, right? So he says, I absolutely think Dragon's Dogma 2 has a great map to explore, but the idea of not having normal fast travel, yet setting up as much exhausting, annoying version of the system instead of a huge turnoff. Not enough to get me to put down the game, but I find myself investing in a lot more fewer quests and returning to fewer areas to explore, given the travel time to cost alone. So you're enjoying the game, you just don't want to partake with the game, right? I mean, that's what it is. You want to play the game, but you don't want to play all the game because it's annoying, right? And I get it. Ox carts only get you so far. Fairy stones remind me of the awful Fallout 76 mechanic, which charges you money to fast travel on a map. This is also annoying for its own sake, actively discouraging exploration rather than encouraging it. No, this is not a microtransaction ploy, as the game stupidly sells just a single fast travel point, which is nothing. But it's also one of those, well, this is the way it has always been, and things that does not work well under a microscope can't get on board. And I don't see the changing it in another 20, 40, or 60 hours. Half of those being spent recharging the stamina meter. I mean, I get it. I'm only 4 hours in. Maybe I'll have a different outlook down the line, but I feel like You don't have to partake in the pick up mission, go here, complete mission, walk back, turn in mission. You can take mission, go do other mission, do other mission, do other mission, do other mission, and then turn it in. I don't know. I actually prefer travel everywhere on foot, unless the places I've been before are returning a quest. Right. That's what I'm saying. Water. I'm absolutely loving it, right? But I also don't play the game. I play games in the past like that, right? But the reason I like Skyrim back in the day is because I wasn't taking quests, doing quests, coming back to that quest. I played that game like I was just enjoying the world. Like, I'm on a quest. Oh, what's that? A cave? And then go into the cave. Okay? So he said he found... What's the things you have to find? I think I found 2 of them already. 4 hours in. Let me see. Fast travel beacons on the map, making you cautious about when you're desperate enough to use it. As the game unfolds, you'll be able to set up your own beacon, okay, around the map. But again, 15 plus hours here, and I've gotten 1 of those. What's the thing? What do you find? Is it the fairy stones? Is the fairy stones the thing that makes you travel? Because again, I haven't used them. To make your own? Because I've already found 2 of them in 4 hours. But then again, I like to explore. I see a cave, I go into a cave. Port stone is what you can buy. I found 2 things that can make me fast travel. What are those called, Warwick? Are those port stones? Or is it the fairy stone? I'm pretty sure I got the... I found one underneath a bed in a town. You need a fairy stone to use the port stone. Okay, the port stones are the big crumbled rock that when you touch it and then it expands, right? That thing? Or is it the glowing... Is it the glowing one? I guess I should just look it up. I found multiple rocks that glow. They're like... The port stone is the purple glowing one. Yeah, okay, so I found 4 of those already. Okay. In my 4 hours. I have multiple fairy stones already in my 4 hours. And then I found 4 or 5 locations of where you spawn the pawns as well. You can only buy the car, not the gas. You have to earn the fire stones. Got it. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I don't know if I like the thief class, though. I don't feel like I'm doing enough damage. I don't feel like I'm doing enough damage. I have to upgrade my stuff a little bit. I was watching someone else do the warrior class. The heavy guy, like the heavy warrior with the big greatsword. He was just charging up and destroying things. I was just like, that looks cool. Start with the archer. My lead pawn is an archer, and then I picked up another thief that has like a special thing on her. I'm not really too sure what it is. I'm very new at this game. I'm still learning what everything is. I just learned I can combine stuff. The camp kit, that weighs a ton on your guy, man. That takes a lot of weight. Make sure you activate all the forgotten pawn stones. Those are the ones that are broke down, and when you touch them, they build back up, right, Argus? I found a bunch of those. I think I at least found 3 or 4 of those already. I was on this one mission. This guy was injured in a cave, and he was taking his sweet, sweet time. And I was like, let's go, buddy. I was like, come on. I went up to him and just picked his ass up and carried him through the cave system. I was like, well, that's convenient. Is there a way to store items in the field? I know you can store stuff at the inns. You can go into the inn and, like, store stuff in there. Like 1,000 pounds or something like that. You could change your vocation at any time. No cost, Mike. Provided you unlock the one that you want to switch to. It's cheap anyway. Okay, cool. You can also do the quest that gives you a camp kit that weighs like 4 kilograms. Well, I got to do that one. Because I found like 3 regular camping ones, and each of my guys has one holding on. Because I was like, I don't know if these are valuable or whatnot. So, like, 3 of my guys each have one on them. And then I have one on me. Oh, yeah, you can also give them to your pawns as well. Yeah, you can give them to your pawns as well. And then you can also consolidate stuff. Yeah, you can consolidate stuff, and you can, like, make things with them, right? So if you have, like, a whole bunch of herbs and stuff like that, you can consolidate them down. Or merge them. I think that's what it is. If a pawn dies, do you lose their items? Not sure. When my pawns died, they were carrying nothing. So when they all died off the cliff, I didn't have anything on them. I would assume that you would lose everything that's on them. Because if you lose them out in the field and you can't get down to them to, like, revive them, then you have to go back to town to get them again. Like, I had to find a way to get down the cliffside. When I hire the pawns, give you, you don't lose anything they have. Oh, so when you hire them, picking up and throwing your dead pawns is hilarious. Saw someone doing it on Twitch the other day. Well, the problem is you could probably loot them, but if you're over, if you're stuffed, then you can't take any more stuff. You walk really slow. Any item being carried by the pawn will be put in your storage when they die. Put in your storage. So if I have a storage back at my hotel or the inn, it'll get put into there, or it gets put into you, Salty. You got like a cheat code, Argus. It's like a cheat code. from what I'm reading, they keep it. Okay. You regulatory switching out your pawns, Mike? No, I have the same ones. No, I have the same ones that I've started with, but I'm only 4 hours in. I was looking for people I knew, but I was just like, how do I find who's playing the game? And then when you go into that section to, like, look at them, like, I'll use your guys' pawns and stuff. But if you dismiss it, then it goes to your main pawn. Okay. Okay. Now I have a question. Do I have to have a main pawn? Or can I bring in everyone's, like, can I have 3 of you guys on my team? Or do I have to have the main and then 2 others? Aren't the other guys leveling up too with me, though? Both me and my pawn are level 14. I think. 14 or 15. Do the other 2 pawns that I hired, do they level up as well? Or do I have to swap them out to bring in higher pawns? No, you swap out. So you have to swap out the other one. So the other guys are not doing enough damage then. So if I'm level 14 and they were level 4 when I got them, they're still level 4. Ah, okay, Argus. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So then I gotta find another healer, and I gotta find another person. Okay. Joe, it says according to stars, this is a multiplayer. Yeah, I knew my main pawn level. I thought the other ones leveled up as well. I just assumed they wouldn't show it because it's not my character. What did I say to sell you on it? What did I sell you? I'm just talking about the game. I wasn't be like, this is the greatest game I've ever played. So wait a minute. Then how do those pawns level up? Right? How do those pawns level up then? So, okay, I have a question. The pawns that are on my team are other people's main pawns. Is that the way it is? So, like, my pawn that I created is level 15. So now, in the other world, your world, if you see that pawn, it's going to be a level 15, and then it doesn't go up any more than that. Yeah, I thought they go up as people use them. Their copy of theirs. Okay. This they rehire their level will update. Pawns have a pawn ID. You can. Oh, okay. Okay. So now if I get rid of that person and I happen to go back, like I could drop them, rehire them, and now they'll go back up to level as long as the person that was whose pawn it was leveling them up. Got it. I thought they level up with me. So I thought my whole group was level 14, 15 now. That makes much more sense now. That makes much more sense now. And I gotta boot them. I gotta get rid of them. Oh, is that why they say? Is that why they say we're gonna part ways soon? Because maybe I'm getting too far apart from them. Interesting. Interesting. It would be cool if the 13 Brainiac thing, they do half heroes and half villains. I just hope it's not the same heroes again. Like after Batman comes out in season 2 or whatever, all of a sudden they go back to Flash, and now Flash has got like Flash powers and Superman powers. You know what I mean? You keep getting completely random ones every time. do a rift, and they have different pawns, not the same ones unless you see out. Yes, only main pawns level up, so every time you get a pawn that someone's got it. Very random, Dupless. Why would Blizzard make porn when people make porn with their characters all the time? That's right. Everyone's expandable for the cause. Yeah. What time is it? 12:30? All right. It's that time of the day. I gotta go eat. I gotta go play some games to record, and then I gotta go pick up my kid. So we'll be back tonight. El Nini gifted me Snow Day, South Park Snow Day, so we'll be playing that this evening, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on 30 NSG. We do live streams, we do uploads, we do gameplay, we do podcasts. So if you like what we do here, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I do appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with me and talking with me every morning, Monday through Thursday. It's a lot of fun. Go over a couple of news stories, have a conversation, get you through 2 hours of your day. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.